You are listening to episode 15 of the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, How to Be a Visionary. Welcome to the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, a show for high achievers who are ready to start enjoying the life they've worked so hard to create. Join me, your host and certified life coach, Dr. Tangi, to learn how to start infusing the dedication you have for your career into living a truly fulfilling life. If you're ready to finally gain the happiness your soul has been longing for, this podcast is for you. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is episode 15. I am so happy you are here. And I was just kind of browsing around the internets this morning, as I tend to do, and I came across this holiday calendar. And I had no idea that there is this holiday. It actually occurs on December 8th, which is the day before the podcast, but I feel like we could just do it anytime because I felt like it was so cool. The holiday, drum roll, is Pretend to Be a Time Traveler Day. I was like, that is so awesome. And the whole idea of this holiday is to pretend for the day that you are actually a traveler from a different time, except you can't really actually tell people that you're from a different time. And mostly that's just because they'll think you're crazy. And so I was reading Wired.com or something, wrote this article. And so I am just kind of give you some of the ideas that they had about it because I don't know, I just thought it was like really fun and I just like to nerd out and stuff like this. But they were like, one example would be to greet people by referring to things that don't really yet exist. Like if you're from the future, for example, like you would go up to somebody and say, hey, have you penetrated the atmosphere lately? Or what spectrum will today's broadcast be in? And you just show really radical ignorance at the technology of today. And the other example they gave would be to pretend like you're from the past and dress in periodic clothing and be really confused about the things that we do today, really be confused about televisions. And if you see a television and there's somebody on it talking, you try to have a conversation with that person. I thought it was hilarious. And then I got to thinking, what better way is there to participate in this holiday? Even though we're a day late, but we can still do it. Then actually having lunch or dinner with your future self, the really hot stuff version of yourself that actually made all your dreams come true, the one that's happy and ecstatic with the life that she's created and is creating a body of work and a legacy that will last for generations to come. And then have her help you create your vision plan. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of my clients are coming to me and saying something to this effect, essentially most of the time. They're like, I have this really great visionary thing that I want to do, but I feel so distracted and exhausted by all the other areas of my life and what I'm currently doing that I can't really seem to make it happen without being miserable. And what I found is that the problem is that there is no real solid, clear vision in place. And guess what? You can't be a visionary without a simple vision. And there's this saying, I believe it's a Japanese proverb, and it goes something like, vision without action is simply a daydream. And action without vision is a complete nightmare. Because once you really have the vision and you live by it, what's going to happen is that it's going to dictate everything you need to do. It's going to dictate who you need to become and what you need to create for yourself moving forward through intentional conscious creation and thought mastery. And one of the things I've noticed is that people we look at as winners and high achievers, super high performers like athletes, they spend a lot of time visualizing because they are motivated by results, not only the results of the big vision, but the results of the tiny little things that they have to achieve and complete over time so that they find themselves living the big result. So they tend to live their life not by how they feel. They don't get distracted by feeling discouraged or like they can't do it or overwhelmed or distracted. They are motivated by the results that they've set out that will get them to their bigger vision. And this is why clarity is so important, because clarity around your vision needs to be as specific as you can make it. And I know a lot of us are desiring for these really massive shifts in our life and in how we feel and how we show up in our lives, the experiences that we're going to have. And I think a lot of us, we desire these things, but we don't really think about the journey to having this massive shift. The journey isn't a straight line. The journey is all wiggly and zigzaggy, and it's up and down in emotions, and it's up and down between belief and doubt. One minute you're like, yeah, I got this. And the next minute you're going to be like, why do I even exist? Like, why am I even trying? And what I want to say about that is what I found, the only way to control that wild roller coaster ride is with super clear vision. You have to know where you're going so that you can continue in persistence, learn from your mistakes, and not be derailed by your brain that is going to freak the F out once you go for it. So it's important to understand that developing and achieving your next vision is going to take some time. It's going to take some reflection and some work, but the rewards will be so great. You know, I've always been a really big daydreamer. I can remember I don't remember anything really about elementary school except recess and looking out the window. And that's what I would do that. My grades in grade school were terrible because literally I would just look out the window and daydream all day. And I still daydream a lot. But what I'm motivated by now is the fact that I know how to turn my daydreams into reality. I know how to vision them out and achieve every daydream that I set for myself step by step. So I'm not saying daydreaming is bad. I still daydream all the time, just on a whim. I think I just daydreamed 2 seconds ago while I was talking about daydreaming. I was like, oh, this feels nice. But anyway, what's even more fun than daydreaming is being able to start living out those dreams. And I want it to be super fun for you too. I am passionate about everyone realizing their true power as a creator, as a conscious creator. And I think everybody has an enormous power to create, an enormous power to change the experience of living for so many other people. And to be quite honest, vision planning is one of my superpowers. So when I decided to offer my course, The Wealthy Happy Soul Project, this year, I thought, what better bonus than to show people how to vision their lives so that they can live that reality of being a true visionary. And I've created this workshop that's all about setting the vision and the intention for 2021, especially since so many people are kind of disappointed about how 2020 has gone for them. But what I'll say about that is that people who had set a clear, concise vision in 2019, everyone that I know, while 2020 was a very interesting year for all of us, people with really strong visions are still on track for what they've created. And I think when years like 2020 happen, or just when life hits you out of the blue, you can become easily derailed if you don't have a vision. So I'm really excited to share everything I know with people who've enrolled already into the Wealthy Happy Soul Project. And for you too, if you decide that you want to join us. So that's what I wanted to say about vision and becoming a visionary. And I just really would like to encourage you to celebrate Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day, a day late, and go have lunch with your future self. Go have dinner with her and come up with a vision of what you want to do and make it come true. Have an awesome, juicy, delicious, soul-satisfying week. See you next week. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast. If you want to dive deeper into alignment and start cultivating your inner wealth, head on over to drtangi.com.